Aloha Hawaii Preppers Network 808. West Coast labor dispute threatens commerce supply chain at nation's busiest port. Operations mostly back to normal, but delays widespread after weekend walkout. Operations at multiple ports from Los Angeles to Seattle returned to normal Monday after a multi-state walkout that began late last week when unionized shipping employees in Oakland refused to show up for work. The strike threatened to strangle commerce at the nation's busiest port, the Port of Los Angeles, which processes $440 billion in cargo per year, even as a large portion of the trade had transferred to the East Coast over the past year due to increasing labor issues. The latest disruption caused a headache for ocean cargo deliveries, with incoming ships from China forced into irregular circling patterns in the Pacific as the worker dispute played out on shore. Only one ocean cargo ship headed to Hawaii was expected to be delayed, but was still scheduled to arrive in Honolulu on Thursday. The walkout caught much of the industry off guard as it extended through the weekend before ports reopened for several hours Monday. The strike disrupted typically hot start of the peak shipping season in the United States and prompted the National Retail Federation to call on the Biden administration to step in and negotiate the growing dispute between labor unions and port officials. Before the strike, supply chains along the West Coast were already struggling to return to pre-pandemic levels. At least 52 Chinese shipping vessels were said to be making their way toward the Port of Los Angeles in a sign that shipping could soon be back to normal. Truckers with ITS Logistics were halted at the gates of the Phoenix Marine Services Terminal at the Port of Los Angeles Monday, preventing the delivery of shipping containers owned by Maersk, Costco, and other corporate giants following several extremely frustrating encounters with Port Authority officials over the past several days. By Tuesday, operations appeared to be fully running again, although wait times had increased at the Port of Los Angeles and Port of Long Beach, and even more so at the Port of Oakland as work shifts were reshuffled, according to CNBC. A day earlier, the Long Beach port shut down the day shift of 2 of its 6 container terminals. Navigating the ports on the entire West Coast over the last 4 days has been extremely frustrating for them and their clients. If it were not for updates from their drivers and their visibility software applications, they would not have known about terminal closures Friday throughout the weekend and into today. So this article came out June 6th. Also, Brazier accused the International Longshore and Warehouse Union of misleading the public in its announcements about ongoing talks to reach a new contract with port managers. Brazier also said port officials didn't give the trucking company any heads up about the work stoppage, and that he first heard of the lockdown from truckers who had been turned back earlier from Phoenix Marine Terminal. However, the terminal did send out a prior communication to companies that alerted to forthcoming cancellations. The complex. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Port Pacific Container Terminal announced a plan to shutter its Tuesday dayside shift following a scheduled closure by the facility on Monday that was announced the previous week. This article is from UPI.com, Top News, US News 2023. And people are in panic mode right now. So today, I did a couple errands. I went to the bank. I had to make a deposit to pay some bills. And I overheard several conversations going on there. And people were saying that There's a lot of people panic shopping right now in Hawaii, especially at the big box stores, Costco's, Sam's Club, and from what I gather, people were going kind of crazy. So, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these panic shoppers do create these shortages as well. They are part of the problem. That is why we prepare ahead of time, so that we are not in the midst of these panic shoppers and we're just kind of watching the movie, roll on. Dock strikes, delays, and all of these things compounded on top of inflation and higher prices and shortages, as well as the weather, droughts, water shortages. That tells everyone to always be prepared no matter what. No one knows what's going to happen, how things are going to happen, and at what speed. You might just wake up the next day and boom, and that's how those that are ill prepared and not prepared happen to find things out, and they start panic shopping and panic hoarding at the same time. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in the midst of all these crazy people that have not prepared at all. You want to stay away from that type of shopping crowd as much as possible. Shop when it is neutral and there's not really anything going on, although we all know that there's a lot of things going on. Therefore, we amplify our preps and do the things that we need to do. So some of the things that you should always have on hand is, if you are a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, get yourself some coffee. Stock up on freeze-dried coffee, ground coffee, whatever types of coffee that you drink and or tea, according to your coffee maker. If you have those cup coffee makers, stock up on those as well. Just have a variety of different types of coffee. If you have the coffee beans, make sure you have a grinder to grind those coffee beans. Another thing to stock up on is your canned vegetables. Make sure you have a nice supply of canned goods, maybe in vegetables, fruits, as well as canned meats, because we all know that meats, especially beef and steak, is very high and very expensive, but everything is expensive. So we can't really say just one thing here or one thing there. Just that with the inflationary prices, everything has gone up. So stock up on all the canned goods, fill in gaps perhaps that you may have. Stock up for your short-term food pantry, as well as your long-term food pantry. Don't forget to stock up on some of your beans here. There's a lot of different types of beans. If you do dried beans, stock up on that as well. Your grains as well, your rice, pastas, and all those things that go with beans and pastas and rice. And, just stock up and have a full supply for you and your family at all times. Don't let your pantry go bare, and just continue to refill that if you find gaps and holes. Water. Never forget to stock up on water. If you purchase the cases, or you have a if you have a water filtration system, stock up on the filters as well. However you store water, know how to store that water, and have different ways of storing that water and filtering that water as well. Make sure you and your family have more than enough water, and never forget your pets, because your pets drink a lot more water than we do. Pet food. Don't forget that pet. Don't forget that dog. Don't forget that cat, that bird, whatever pets that you do have. Stock up on the foods that they eat and the foods that they need, be it canned goods, dried food, dried kibbles, as well as treats for them. If they need medications from the vet, stock up on that too if you can, and if your vet is willing to prescribe to you more of the medication that your pets need. Don't forget to also stock up on litter, because cats do need litter, and litter is multi-purpose. We can use litter for other things as well. So don't forget your pets. Have a first aid kit for that pet. Double check your first aid kits as well. Make sure everything's updated. The medications, the band-aids, the ointments, everything in that first aid kit is good to check every now and then and update things. If things have expired, trade them out for a more recent and current medication and or ointments as well. If you need vitamins, if you need medicines, over-the-counter medicines, do stock up on those as well. If you need prescription medications, do check with your physician, your practicing physician, your doctor, and see if you can order extra just in case. You never can tell. Some doctors do, but some don't. So you might have to seek your physician and doctor and talk to them about this as well. I don't know about your state, but my state, usually everyone panics and they get into a crazy panic mode, and they go out and just buy everything and anything off the shelf. Another thing to remember to purchase is toilet paper. If you don't have toilet paper, do stock up on that and have X amount on hand for you and your family as well, because we all know what happened in 2020. That was the first thing that disappeared completely for months. So do stock up on that as well. This is about it, guys and gals. So thank you for watching, and thank you for returning. If you're a subscriber, I thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button and the notification bell for more updates in videos here. Other than that, have a great day. Aloha.